He was ready. He bought the ultimate trading system, the one that promised freedom. Mark had his charts set up, his capital locked and loaded. He was waiting for his moment. And then, there it was. The perfect, textbook, A+ signal flashed on his screen. Entry price confirmed. Stop loss defined. This was it. His finger moves to the execute button. He should be calm and clinical, but instead, his heart slams against his ribs. His rational mind screams, "Act now. The edge is here." But a poison, a crippling inner voice of doubt, whispers louder. What if you lose it all? What if you're wrong? You don't deserve this. In that moment, Mark freezes. He can't move. He is caught in the terrifying gap between knowing and doing. Mark is paralyzed, trapped by his own mind. He watches on, horrified, as the market validates the signal, moving perfectly. Tick by tick, the trade goes to his profit target, hitting the 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio exactly as the system predicted. The kind of money that could really help his financial state. The thing is, the result isn't a loss of capital. It is something worse. It is the devastating realization that the flaw isn't in the system. It is him. The profit was stolen by his own fear. By the gap, the terrifying void between what you know and what you execute. This gap is what kills trading careers. This gap is one of the biggest threats to your trading career. But the good news is, it is a gap you can close. In this video, we are giving you the psychological blueprint to build your confidence as a trader. The ironclad mindset that guarantees you act when your system demands it. This isn't theoretical fluff. It's the mental engineering required to neutralize fear. If you are ready to bridge the gap and stop letting fear steal your profits, please smash that like button and subscribe if you are new here. The locus of control. The truth is, fear doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It's rooted in something deeper, something psychologists have studied for decades. It's called locus of control, a theory first introduced by psychologist Julian Rotter in 1954. Rotter discovered that the way people explain success and failure determines almost everything about how they act under pressure. He called it locus, meaning location of control. Some people have an external locus of control, believing that outcomes are decided by luck, fate, or outside forces. Others have an internal locus of control, believing that what happens to them is primarily shaped by their own actions and decisions. Now, here is where it connects directly to trading. When you have an external locus of control, every losing trade feels like an attack. You start thinking, the market manipulated me, the broker hunted my stop, the system failed me. That mindset creates helplessness, and helplessness fuels fear. You begin to trade defensively, hesitantly, always waiting for something out there to go wrong. The people and/or traders with an internal locus of control, they see every trade, win or lose, as data. They know they can't control the market, but they can control their decisions, their position size, their discipline, and their reactions. They don't think, why did the market do this to me? What they care about is, what can I do better next time? And that simple shift changes everything, because the moment you start believing your actions matter, that you are the variable that determines your long-term success, your brain begins to wire itself differently. Fear no longer feels like a predator. It becomes a signal, a cue to refine your process. Confidence, then, isn't a motivational trick. It becomes the byproduct of ownership. But confidence isn't built by pep talks. It is built by mental models that reshape how you think, react, and decide under pressure. And that is why the rest of this video is very important for you to see if you are serious about developing true trading confidence. Up next, we will explore 4 powerful mental models that separate impulsive traders from confident ones. Number 1. The emotion debt model. Most traders treat emotions like enemies, like it is something to suppress, resist, or outsmart. When fear hits, they try to muscle through it, but that is a battle you will always lose. Confident traders do something different. They use what I call the emotion debt model. They treat emotions as feedback, not failure. See, fear isn't weakness. It is your nervous system saying, the risk you have taken doesn't match your emotional capital. Every time you feel the paralysis, the same one that froze Mark in our story, your mind isn't sabotaging you. It is signaling you that your position might be too big, your stop too wide, your time frame too fast, or maybe that you don't really know your strategy. And once you learn to read fear as data and not danger, confidence becomes automatic. Because when you stop fighting your emotions and start decoding them as a feedback, it turns from a roadblock into your most precise trading instrument, also known as confidence. Number 2. The competence through loss framework. Think about the first time you played a tough video game. You lost over and over again. But you didn't quit. You hit restart. You learned the enemy's moves, timed your jumps better, adjusted your strategy, and eventually you won that level. Now imagine if you treated trading the same way. That is the competence through loss framework. It is the idea that confidence doesn't come from winning trades. It comes from playing again after not getting the desired result. See, every time you take a small, controlled loss and stick to your rules, you are training your nervous system to stay calm under pressure. You are proving to yourself that a loss isn't the end. It's just feedback. And that simple trick is how competence and confidence is born. Through repetition, not perfection. A trader who takes a textbook 0.5% loss and sleeps soundly is 10 levels ahead of the one who wins 3% but feels anxious and out of control. Because each discipline loss is a save point. It is proof that you can execute with courage, even when it stings. So the next time you hit a losing streak, think like a gamer. You are not failing. You're leveling up. Because in trading, every clean loss is XP. And confidence is the ultimate unlocked skill. 3. The pattern interruption approach. Your brain is a pattern-seeking machine, and that is both its genius and its downfall. When something works once, your mind stamps it as truth. You get a perfect trade. Your gut screams, "This setup is gold." And suddenly, every future decision starts bending around that single emotional memory. But the problem with this is that the market doesn't care about your patterns. This is why confident traders use the pattern interruption approach. They train themselves to distrust emotional familiarity. They take trades that feel wrong but fit their system, and they skip trades that feel perfect but break their rules. Each time they do this, they are rewiring their brain, proving that discipline beats instinct. But there is a secret weapon, and it is in backtesting. Backtesting is how you build statistical proof that is strong enough to silence your gut. When you have seen your setup win and lose hundreds of times on paper, the mystery evaporates. You stop asking, "Does this feel right?" and start knowing, this setup wins 56% of the time with a 3-to-1 edge. That knowledge turns emotion into data and data into conviction. Because when you have tested your system across time, volatility, and chaos, you no longer need to believe. You now know. And that is when you stop chasing feelings and start executing probabilities. Number 4. The narrative ownership model. Most traders don't build their trading psychology. They inherit it. They pick up secondhand beliefs from mentors, forums, and social media. The market is rigged. I always panic sell. I'm just not good with numbers. They carry these phrases like invisible weights, and over time, those beliefs quietly become their trading identity. But confident traders do something radically different. They practice what I call the narrative ownership model. They question every inherited belief. They ask what I call dangerous questions, the kind that unsettle you, the kind that make you doubt your own assumptions. As the philosopher Voltaire once said, "Judge a man by his questions rather than by his answers." Because confidence isn't built by repeating what others told you. No. Confidence is forged by questioning everything you were told to believe. And that includes questioning me. Yes, even this video. Don't just accept what I'm saying. Challenge it. Tear it apart. Because only by testing every idea against your own experience do you begin to see clearly. That is how you find your light. It is not by copying someone else's conviction, but by discovering your own. Then, you build evidence. Real, documented proof that supports the new identity you are writing for yourself. You don't say, "I am a disciplined trader." You write, "I executed 47 trades this month according to plan, took losses on 12 without deviation, and adjusted size when risk felt misaligned." That is not affirmation, it is transformation. And when your beliefs and your behavior finally align, you don't need confidence anymore. You become it. Mark's profit wasn't stolen by the market. It was stolen by a lifetime of inherited beliefs and a single moment of internal sabotage. So, the ultimate takeaway is this: you are the variable. The money in the market will always be there, but your confidence is the key you need to unlock it. The journey isn't easy, but it's simple. Stop fighting the market and start rewriting your mind. Question every inherited belief, stop trading emotions, and start executing probabilities. That is how you stop seeking confidence and start becoming it. If you're ready to start building your own confident narrative, one where fear is just data and discipline is automatic, then it's time to move to the next level. For the next step in your mental engineering, I recommend you check out this video, The Secret to Disciplined Trading. The video is a deep dive into the exact rules you need to execute your plan and build a discipline that makes fear irrelevant. Also, join us on Telegram for your daily dose of trading mindset tips that'll help you stand out and succeed. Link is in the description. Until next time, may the trend be with you.